come to order. Please pause for a moment of silent meditation. Thank you. And we have some flags around. Councilman Katz, so why don't you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I would be honored to do such. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman Katz. Is there a motion to approve the journal for the meeting of March 21st and 24th?
I'll move it.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. The journals are approved. Enrollment of bills 10-22, 11-22, 12-22, and 13-22 were passed by the council, signed by the executive, and hereby enrolled. Bill 22-22 also passed by the council, is hereby enrolled. Mr. Secretary, will you now read all bills for introduction this evening?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. There are 3 bills for introduction this evening. The first is Bill 23-22, Current Expense Budget Home ARP Program. Bill 24-22, Police Accountability Board. And Bill 25-22, sponsored by all council members, is the 2022 Basic Services Maps.
Thank you. The council will now consider all bills for final reading and vote. Mr. Secretary, the first bill, please.
First bill, Mr. Chairman, is Bill 14-22, Abatement of Public Nuisances.
As everybody or everyone may recall, in the last work session when Chief Hyatt testified on the bill, the administration is currently working on amendments to address the concerns that have been raised in the meetings with stakeholders and by others that testified at the work session. In order to give the administration time to work out the details, I'll be making a motion this evening to extend that Bill 14-22 until the next legislative session on April the 18th. Before before we go that fast, I want to ask, did I see Chief Hyatt? We have anything to add, Chief Hyatt, before we go in and move to a vote?
No, sir, I think you captured it. Thank you very much for the consideration.
Sure. Any questions or comments from the members? I had a motion from Councilman Katz.
Second.
And it is the second. So I have moved the bill 14-21 be extended until the next legislative session. And it's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll to extend Bill 14-22.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Katz?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Bill 14-22 will be extended to April the 18th. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Bill 15-22, Current Expense Budget National Suicide Prevention Hotline, transition to 988 Lifeline Call Center.
Okay, Mr. Lawrence Richardson. You're muted, sir.
Sorry about that. Good evening, Chairman Jones, members of the council. The administration is seeking a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $52,258 to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline for our transition to the 988 Lifeline Call Center. The department will be using the county's suicide prevention hotline provider, Affiliate Sante, to add additional staffing and to provide additional overtime in preparation of the anticipated increase in call volume due to the federally mandated transition to the 988 Lifeline Call Center. We are estimating the transition will increase the number of behavioral health crisis calls from 9,200 to over 13,000 per year. The 988 Lifeline Call Center must be operational by July 16th of 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Are there any questions or comments from the members?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
quick question, Mr. Richardson, if somebody calls 911 today, are they referred to 988 or transferred or what?
Not currently. This is not until this will be implemented.
So, but if someone calls, there is assistance for that individual today.
Correct. So, yes, we do currently have our crisis hotline.
Okay.
This is just going to make it a streamline and make it easier for everyone to remember. 988 is
Thank you.
specifically for suicide prevention.
Thank you very much.
You know, I'm going to say, I know, I remember when the days prior to 9/11 and how what an improvement 911 came across the country. Now, I personally wonder about the wisdom when we start adding an awful lot of different numbers. So far, we have 911, 311. I guess we did away with 411. The internet took care of that, and cell phones. And now we'll have 988. So, any questions or comments from the members? Okay. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 15-22.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr.
Aye.
Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Ayes have it, Bill 15-22 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is Bill 16-22, Weed Control.
Mr. Gutwall.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. I will first refer to my background and have stuff up on the wall for Councilman Crandall.
Oh,
I had to come in on the weekend just to do it.
like I say, where did you buy those certificates from?
I was going to say, are they real?
Yeah.
Are
Yes,
those
it
yours
is.
or somebody else's?
Like pictures.
Thanks, Ed.
He put
Thanks,
up
buddy.
pictures with the people still in them when he bought them, right?
Mr. Gutwald, is that a no on the Jimi Hendrix poster?
Yeah, I found my own stuff, Councilman. Good evening, Chairman and members of the council. Bill 16-22 is one of the many pieces of reimagining code enforcement. The bill essentially does three things. It reduces the threshold for compliancy from 12 inches to 8 inches. It clarifies the escalating fining structure and allows the department to proceed with abatement without notice of correction when we have repeat offenders, which exists in other parts of the code, specifically zoning. As I said at the work session, this isn't intended to penalize anybody. This who's having a bad month, if you will. This is to move forward with some of our well-known properties that are, absentee landowners and those types of things, so we can go from complaint to compliancy in a more efficient manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gutwall, and as always, I thank you for your hard work and dedication. And I hope by putting the extra time in to put those certificates on the wall, it won't detract from the service you've been providing.
Yes, sir.
Are there any questions or comments from the members?
Just, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
it seems like 80% of our job is reactive. And of that 80%, it seems like half the complaints in the spring and the summer relate to tall grass. So I want to thank the administration for looking at this. I think this is a common sense bill. And particularly as we start to get into that lawn mowing season, this makes a lot of sense. So thanks a lot.
Okay. Any additional questions or comments? Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 16-22.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk.
Aye. The ayes have it, Bill 16-22 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Next bill is Bill 17-22, sponsored by Councilman Quirk. County Code, Pensions and Retirement, Salary Scale and Other Adjustments Reporting.
Councilman Quirk?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I just wanted to start by thanking our county auditor office, Lauren and Liz. Were great along with your whole team. And of course, Ed Blades is always great. And Bill 17-22 really came about working together cooperatively between the county exec's office and the county council and our audit office, and really trying to come up with a bill and the language necessary. And so I do appreciate the teamwork and also the support of transparency. Our county executive talks about transparency, and this is a real good example of yet another bill for greater transparency, especially on a really, really important matter. And so Bill 17-22, I'm just going to read it because it's a lot easier to read it. Requires a notice to the county council whenever a cost of living adjustment or any other salary scale change for county employees are proposed, or whenever other personnel or retirement related legislation is proposed that would generate costs. And the notice must provide the projected salary cost of the proposed legislative change and also advise the council of other related costs, such as the impact on the county's annual operating budget, contributions to the retirement system, and the effect of actuarial accrued liability of the system as consequence to the increased salaries. And so specifically, and I think it's really important, any COLA or other employee salary scale adjustments proposed in the annual expense budget, that will basically have a statement containing following like full annualized salary cost of the adjustment by fund and program. And we have a couple of minor amendments that Mr. Bostwick will go through. I think one amendment on that. Any secondary other costs by fund program for each fiscal year with a full actuarial amortization period for each associated actuarial accrued liability, including the resulting estimated increase to the actuarially determined employer contribution to the, it's a mouthful, to the employee's retirement system, and then the total impact of the actuarial accrued liability of the employee retirement system by employee group as determined by the county's actuary. And also, which is really cool, it requires the actuary hired by the retirement system board of trustees to include a scheduled annual employer contributions through the end of the adopted amortization period and identify specific effects of the changes in experience or actuarial methods or assumptions in the prior year schedule in their annual evaluation of the assets and liabilities of the funds of the retirement system. So that's a whole mouthful, but this is something I just love, and I really do appreciate Ed Blades, Lauren and Liz and team in helping us put this together. As very de minimis impact to our budget, might cost 10 or 15,000 more for additional actuarial analysis, but all this is really important. I think big picture, stepping out of all the verbiage, is this is just greater transparency when the county council, future county councils, are voting on big personnel bills, voting on maybe salary increases, or voting on cost of living adjustments. I think it's really important to really understand the impact of those votes on how it might affect the pension, how it might affect the overall annual required contribution. So it just gives the county more information to base really, really important decisions, especially the impact of the decisions the county exec might make onto future people in the pension, current people in the pension. I think budgetary wise, I think this is going to be really helpful to the audit office and to the spending affordability committee, to the county exec's office as well, and to everybody in the system to really understand the impact of these major decisions on the future position of the county financially. So sorry for a long-winded explanation, but this is one I don't get too excited about a lot of bills. This one I kind of excited about. So thanks.
Are there any question or comment?
Mr. Chair, just I could see that Councilman Quirk, after he said the word actuarial, he got very, very excited.
Well, and I'll tell you from an audit standpoint, I know the auditor's office would love to have an actuary on staff. So this is actually pretty good, though. This gets us a lot of what we need, and Yeah, it's hard. I'll tell you, actuarial work, it's very, very complex and difficult. So it would be good to see what some of these numbers look like well into the future.
Well, let me just say that Councilman Quirk, you've certainly been a leader on all things fiscal on the council. Clearly, it is all of our responsibility, but you have a level of expertise that we've been leaning on for quite some time, and we really appreciate it. And on that note, I'm going to ask the secretary to add me as a co-sponsor, and I'm going to follow your lead.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any additional questions or comments?
You can add me as well.
Yes, ma'am.
You can add me as well. And I appreciate Councilman Quirk's longtime service on these issues.
I'll join in as a co-sponsor too. Thank you.
There you go.
And, Mr. Secretary, is there an amendment too? Do we have an amendment?
We do.
have some amendments.
We do, Mr. Quirk. It's a relatively minor amendment. As you know, the bill requires that the statement that the budget director attaches to a bill that that has a COLA or similar type of a salary adjustment, that as part of that statement, the salary cost of the adjustment be part of that statement, as well as the secondary or other costs. And currently the bill states by fund and program, and the amendment would just amend that to say by fund and department rather than program.
And I think that makes sense. I talked to Mr. Blades about that. I'm happy to move the amendment unless there's any questions or comments on the amendment.
I'll second the amendment. It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the amendment.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall, Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The amendment to Bill 17-22 has passed. Are there any questions or comments before we move the bill? Is there a motion to move Bill 17-22 as amended?
I'll happily move the bill as amended, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded by Councilwoman Bevins and Quirk. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 17-22 as amended.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
I'd like to co-sponsor and vote yes.
thank you. Mr. Crandall? Aye. Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
I thought I already said aye, but
Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Mr. Marks, I'm sorry about that.
no problem.
Okay.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Bill 17-22 as amended is passed. The council will now consider all fiscal matters. Extensive testimony was taken at the council work session on March 29th. The witnesses who testified at the work session are available to restate their testimony if needed. If a council member has any questions regarding a particular fiscal matter, that item will be discussed as a separate matter. I'll now call upon the secretary to read the cover letter for fiscal matters 1 through 5.
Mr. Chairman, fiscal matter 1 is a contract with Sports Labs LLC related to synthetic turf fields. Fiscal matter 2 is a contract with Helicopter Applicators Incorporated related to the suppression of midges. Fiscal matter 3 is amendment number 3 to a contract with Tito Contractors for general labor at the Eastern Sanitary Landfill. Fiscal matter 4 is a contract with the Schaefer Center of Public Policy at the University of Baltimore, Independent Staffing Services. And fiscal matter 5 is a contract with Cash Campaign of Maryland Incorporated to assist in free tax preparation services through DHCD.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Any questions or comments from the members?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilman Randall.
I would like to pull out fiscal matter 2 and fiscal matter 4, please.
Fiscal matter 2 the helicopters.
Yep.
And 4, Schaeferson. Okay. I will, are there any questions or comments from any of the members? We're
Mis-
pulling out
Mr.
2 and 4 separately?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment that last week I asked a number of questions about the Schaefer Center and the contract with the Blue Ribbon Committee regarding the Inspector General. And, as I asked the questions and as I've thought about it, it did begin to remind me of when I was in state government. This particular agency, University of Maryland, the state legislature used that same agency frequently. What they did was is they looked at various state agencies and recommended, if there was a problem, better ways to organize, and they looked at other subdivisions, how those subdivisions performed their particular duties, who did a better job, who didn't. And, it was never a partisan thing. And, then I talked to a legislator that I've known for a long time who I have a lot of respect for. And I think my suspicions have been allayed. I think that this is a good idea. And I'm hoping that when all is said and done, that we will have an Inspector General's office with a larger staff, and that can continue to do the job so that it will be efficient, and that if there is any wrongdoing in government, that we can identify it and straighten it out. So I will be voting for this particular contract. And it's simply because I do now recall how the state legislature would contract. This is a state agency, by the way. The University of Baltimore program is a state agency. So I'll be voting for it.
Thank you, Councilman Katz.
mi-
Before we, if you don't mind, Councilman Crandall,
Well, I was just
let's call,
hoping,
no. Let's call the vote on 1, 3, and 5. You have a comment on the,
no, sir, I was just hoping that you, as you're doing, establish some order in how we're going to talk about 2 and 4 and vote on 1, 3, 5. So,
yeah,
and you've done that, so thank you.
I'm going to get 1, 3, 5 out of the way. Then we'll go to 2. Then we'll go to 4.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And is there a motion to approve fiscal matters 1, 3, and 5?
So moved.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, call the roll on fiscal matters 1, 3, and 5.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Catch. Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Fiscal matters 1, 3, and 5 are approved. Mr. Secretary, please read fiscal matter number 2.
Fiscal matter number 2 is a contract with Helicopter Applicators Incorporated related to the suppression of midges.
Okay, midges. Are there any questions or comments on the application of midges by our Air Defense Wing over there in the Middle River area?
Mr. Chair, I happily comment, and I just want to take the opportunity to thank the administration Director Likens, our county biologist, and Dr. Bug, Kevin Brittingham, as well as Secretary Bartenfelder, and the folks at the state level who have helped to finally get this thing done after years and years of advocacy and effort on a lot of different people's part, both public officials and citizens. So I just want to express my appreciation for those involved for not making this a partisan issue, which it seemed like it was in the past, and putting aside politics and realizing what an important issue this was. So I do have one quick question for Director Likens, and that is, David, do you have an indication of when the first application will take place, when the helicopter goes in the air?
Yes, that we tomorrow we'll be putting out ads on what we're planning on doing to notify the public and notify the marine areas, marine trades and such, state police. It will totally depend upon the weather at this point in time, but we are prepared to go as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you. And one of the things that I wanted to bring up, and that should be known publicly, and I'm sure that your announcement will be on it, is that the larvicide that will be used is a natural substance. It is not a pesticide. It's used worldwide. It does not kill fish. It does not kill aquatic plants, anything like that. It attacks the midge fly in their larva stage in the mud where they are breeding, and does not have any adverse environmental impact. And I think it's important for the public to be aware of that as they see helicopters flying up and down Back River and wondering what they're dropping into the water. So I just wanted to get that out there as well.
Thank you very much for that. And we actually have a map and a fact sheet describing basically what you just said, that it's very safe, it's non-toxic to humans, just to the midges.
Very good. Thank you, Director Likens. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for pulling that out for me.
Thank you, Councilman Crandall, for educating us all on midgets.
Mr. Chairman?
One more thing that I think about now, midgets, and destroying the midgets on the Eastern Front. Yes, Councilman, who was that?
That's me.
Okay, go right ahead, Councilman Mark.
Yeah, thank you. Again, Councilman Crandall, thank you for your leadership on this over many years. Mr. Likens, thank you, and the county executive staff. Also, thank you to Governor Hogan and the state government for their support. Mr. Likens, this is restricted to the Back River area, correct? No points north, like Middle River or north.
This is the upper 1,200 acres of Back River.
Okay. Can you describe, is there similar problems to the north and in other tributaries of Baltimore County?
We have had an app on our website for the last several years called a Midge app, that if you have a problem with midges in your particular area, you can go onto the app and report the location and the severity of the infestation, trying to figure out where the hot spots were. So Back River has 4,000 some acres in it. So we're only doing 1,200 acres of it. Our test plot in the fall was only 60 acres. So at the present time, we're proposing to just do 1,200 acres of Back River. Again, it's not cheap. It's about $250,000 an application. We're doing 5 or 6 applications a year. So we're looking to spend about 1.5 million each year at the present time. We're limiting it just to those 1,200 acres. We actually have a permit to apply it to the entirety of Back River for the next 5 years. We have not ventured into any other rivers where there are midges. We're not trying to get rid of every midge. We're just trying to knock down the severe infestations that are currently only occurring in Back River.
Understood. That makes a lot of sense. So again, thank you, Mr. Likens. Thank you, Councilman Crandall, and all involved.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments on the helicopter application of. Okay. Let me see here. Mr. Brittingham, what was that? A mosquito? What else you have on your background? It's not midgets, are they?
Is
You're
Dr.
muted,
Is Dr. Brittingham with us?
Yes, I was looking at the back of his background, and it looks like he's in the midst of something. I'm not sure what those things are. Mosquito, maybe?
They're the larvae.
That's the larvae?
That's actually, it looks like mosquito larvae or the midge larvae. They're small and that's the life cycle. The one on the far right is the larval form that's down in the mud. I don't know why we can't hear him. He's still on. You're on, Kevin, you're on mute. But he had the adult midge is in the middle right behind his head. There he goes. You're off mute, but we can't hear you. All right. So that's the midge. Am I correct, Kevin, that is the midge life cycle behind you? Okay.
Okay, so now we know we're spending millions of dollars to kill. Got a good picture of it. Any questions or comments from the members? Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on fiscal matter number 2.
I think we do need a motion and a second on that one, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Is there a motion to approve fiscal matter number 2?
I'll move it.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on fiscal matter number 2.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Marks. Mr. Marks,
Aye. Aye.
thank you.
Yep.
The ayes have it. Fiscal matter number 2 is approved. Mr. Secretary, please read fiscal matter 4.
Fiscal matter 4, Mr. Chairman, is a contract with the Schaefer Center of Public Policy at the University of Baltimore for independent staffing services on behalf of the administration.
Okay, and Ms. Savitra Peoples, would you like to describe what this is again for us in better detail?
Sure.
As you testified earlier?
Sure, happy to. Good evening, Chairman Jones, members of the County Council. The administration is requesting the approval of a contract with the Schaefer Center for Public Policy at the University of Baltimore. This is to provide professional facilitation services to the Baltimore County Blue Ribbon Commission on Ethics and Accountability. This was established by the county executive through Executive Order number 2021-025. The commission is tasked with reviewing Article 7, Public Ethics in Open Government, and Article 4, Title 14, Office of the Inspector General of the Baltimore County Code, along with policies and business processes that govern public ethics in open and transparent government. The contractor will provide facilitation support to the commission, conduct research as needed to support the commission's work, and assist with the drafting of the commission's draft and final reports. This will include a web-based anonymous ethics climate survey of Baltimore County employees, officials, and members of the boards and commissions, and as a best practice study regarding the operation of offices of inspectors general. The total compensation amount of this contract is $99,392. The contract will commence upon council approval. The work is anticipated to be completed by December 31st, 2022.
Thank you so much, Ms. Peoples. Once again, you did an excellent job for your second appearance before us.
Thank you, Councilman.
Sure. Are there any questions or comments on fiscal matter number 4?
Mr. Chair, I requested that you pull this out of the group of fiscal matters that we're voting on this evening. I appreciate you doing so. Like Mr. Catch, after the work session, I spent a little time doing my own research and just wanted to make the statement that I find this contract to be wholly unnecessary. There is a 52-page document called Principles and Standards for Offices of Inspectors General that is available through the Association of Inspectors General. When we did a name change to create the office, well, we created the office by statute and then changed the name. All we did was change the name. We did not change how the office should operate. So, I think I could save the county $100,000 by purchasing this 52-page document. And there you go. There you have the guidelines how an inspector general's office should work. So I just find that this is a waste of a lot of people's time, a waste of a lot of people's money. So I just wanted to get that on the record. So thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Crandall. Any additional questions or comments on fiscal matter number 4?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Councilman Pope.
So the first question I have is, I know that let me just make a statement. I know that the commission has not met, and there are a group of well-qualified individuals. So my assumption, and I think Ms. Rogers confirmed this, is that this is not a request coming from the Blue Ribbon Commission saying we need this entity as staff to us. And secondarily, the question is, if we received, and I don't believe, I guess this is a question for Mr. Bostwick or Mr. Blades, have we received the Office of the Inspector General's budget request this year for fiscal 2013?
Yes, we have.
As the council?
No, we have not.
Because Mr. Catch, Councilman Catch, said that he had the understanding that there was a request in place for the Inspector General's office, and that request would be satisfied to some level of comfort for Councilman Catch. And I just wonder if we're moving forward, we, the council, we haven't received the budget from the Office of the Inspector General, the budget request, I should say. And so we're making a decision in absent of a commission meeting, absent of having looked at the budget. And I wonder if it might not be a better approach to table this matter until the commission has had a chance to at least have an initial meeting, and also so that when the council reviews the budget request for the Office of the Inspector General, we can consider this request in context of the overall budget of that office. And I don't know if there's an appetite amongst the colleagues to do that, but I thought I would put that up for consideration.
Thank you, Councilman Batoka. I certainly can appreciate the comments. I don't see that this request is anything other than the same type of things the administration has done in the past. They're merely asking, if you're going to have a commission, you're going to need someone to staff the commission. I think this is done in an attempt to make sure that it is all outside of the county. And in light of the fact that we're spending millions of dollars to kill a bug that I certainly sympathize with my friends on the east side of the county, I haven't seen one of them in my community. But that said, I'm going along because I think it's important to Baltimore County. And same here. I think this is a good idea. I don't see where the issue is. It's done in an attempt to make our Inspector General better. And I just don't see a problem if somebody wants to come along and take a look under the hood and make things better. So I'll just go on the record and say I don't have any appetite to postpone the vote. I would like to move forward. If somebody else would like to second, or somebody else want to postpone the vote, you can let me know now and we can go through the vote, or we can just call the vote. I will ask for their motion to move forward with fiscal matter number 4.
I'll move it.
There a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, call the roll on fiscal.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I would hope just alluding to Councilman Patoka's point, that I would hope that the administration in the upcoming budget will provide adequate funding for staff for the Office of Inspector General. In my opinion, they are woefully understaffed and need additional resources in order to do the job. And, you know, the job does include taking a look at operations in various offices and making recommendations how things can be run more efficiently and effectively. So I think that is a worthwhile goal.
Councilman Cox, I agree with you. And I think that once we've seen the budget and we know that there is sufficient funds to have a robust office, and that robust office could determine whether our expenditure for midges is a good use of taxpayers' dollars. I believe it is, and that's why I voted in the affirmative. But without a robust office, it's hard to tell where we've done good work and where we need to improve. And so, you know, our role in the budget, I mean, certainly we have discussions with the executive office, but we really only have the ability to cut. We don't have the ability to redirect money. And so I guess I would like to have an assurance from the administration that there will be, because like I said, I haven't seen the budget requests from the Inspector General's office, but I would hope that there would be sufficient funds to continue the growth of that office, and an office that that we believe is useful and beneficial to all stakeholders of Baltimore County.
Well, thank you, Councilman Patoka.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, go ahead. I wanted to ask, go right ahead, Councilman Crandall.
Well, I just, so there's a couple things that were said that I need to comment on, and I was hoping that we could just move towards a vote, and my vote will be my final statement on the matter. But I'm not sure how a contract for the abatement of a insect infestation in a district has anything to do with another contract. And the insinuation that I should just go along with a contract that I don't believe in because we just voted on something that helps constituents in my district, I think is completely ill-founded. And actually, I kind of resent it. I don't think that that's appropriate. That's an appropriate comment at all. And then Councilman Patoka, the Inspector General would not weigh in on the merits of a contract and whether it should be whether it's money well spent or not. That's our job. That's not the Inspector General's office. What they would investigate is if the contract was somehow awarded inappropriately or there was some other malfeasance involved with it. So I'm not quite understanding how fiscal matter 2 got all wrapped up in fiscal matter 4 when they're two entirely different matters.
Yeah, fair enough, Councilman Crandall. And I didn't mean to imply that that was the case. I was really trying to push, and maybe it was a poor example, towards having a robust Inspector General's office that again looks out for the best interests of all the stakeholders related, all the stakeholders in Baltimore County.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir, Councilman.
may I ask a question to Stacy of the County Administrative Officer, please?
Sure.
Ms. Rogers, do you want to add anything to this conversation? I'm specifically looking for how we're going to compare our office to peer jurisdictions. I think Isabel Cummings does a very good job in Baltimore City. Also the jurisdictions that surround Baltimore County, other ones, but also you mentioned Cuyahoga County, Ohio, which is Cleveland. Can we also look at, say, St. Louis County, which, like Baltimore, is separate from St. Louis City, or Milwaukee County? I mean, these are places of comparable size, comparable demographics and character to our county. Can we have that sort of analysis as part of this review?
Councilmember Marks, that is exactly what we want to do. And Councilmember Crandall, we are very familiar with the Inspector General's guide that comes from the Association of Inspectors General. Our attempt here is to ensure that we are practicing with best practices, because I'll just say, when the original legislation was passed that created a Office of Accountability, Ethics and Accountability, it was one type of operation. When the second legislation was passed, it created an Office of Inspector General. If you look around the state as well as the nation, these operations run differently. We did not pause and look at certain operational and procedural interfaces with respect to moving from an Office of Ethics and Accountability, which on any given day, the Inspector General and I work together on ethics and accountability pieces, the whole ethics piece. But the issue is, we did not pause. All we did was change the name, but we did not pause and look at the operation. Our attempt is to ensure that we are operating with best practices going forward. Ms. Madigan and I work together cooperatively on ethics and accountability pieces, and we're just merely trying to make sure that we're operating with best practices, because these offices run very differently from office to office. And Councilmember Marks, yes, it is the case that we're looking beyond Maryland, because there are only a handful of inspectors general offices in Maryland. That's why the National Association of Counties is available to us, which Baltimore County is indeed a member. So we're just trying to ensure that we're operating with best practices and having an independent facilitator staff this particular Blue Ribbon Commission, as we have done with other commissions that we have stood up. We've done it internally, but the county executive is merely seeking to have a neutral party who has excellent credentials in doing so, because we did not pause when we changed the legislation.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to thank Councilman Katz as well. I appreciate, Councilman, your perspective on this, and I appreciate you reaching out to your former colleagues in the legislature who have familiarity with this institution. So thank you both.
You're welcome, sir.
Councilman Marks. Thank you, Ms. Rogers. Any questions or comments from the members? I thought we had a motion and a second.
We did, Mr. Chairman. It's ready to be voted on, I believe.
Mr. Secretary, call the roll on fiscal matter number 4.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
No.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye, but I'd like to just qualify my vote. I'd like to have a discussion subsequent to the vote with the administration to have the same assurances that Councilman Katz has, that there will be an office that has a sufficient staff to be a 2022, 2023 Inspector General's office for 900,000 residents.
Mr. Katz.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Fiscal matter number 4 is approved, and I guess we will move forward we'll just move forward. I'll leave it at that. Let's see. So fiscal matters 1 through 5 are approved. We'll now consider all miscellaneous business. Mr. Secretary, first item, please.
Mr. Chairman, whenever a contract over $25,000 is awarded by a process other than formal competitive bid, it is required that a copy of the contract be given to the county council and the nature and parties to the contract be announced by the secretary at the next legislative session following award. There are 6 such contracts or agreements this evening. The first is an agreement with Chesapeake Fire and Rescue Equipment Incorporated. Total estimated award of $175,000. Next is an agreement with Life Technologies Corporation doing business as Applied Biosystems LLC. This is for the purchase of DNA kits, reagents, and supplies for the genetic analyzer machine at the Police Forensics Lab. Estimated award of $176,344.95. Next is a purchase order with Forest Valley Tree and Turf LLC, snow removal for the libraries, additional award total of $14,396. The fourth is a purchase order with Sirius XM Radio, doing business as Pandora Media LLC. This is through solid waste for their annual compost and rain barrel sale that they'd like to get on the Pandora radio. Award total of $29,000. And the next agreement is with Jesco Incorporated. This is for the purchase of John Deere construction and forestry parts and labor through Jesco Incorporated. Estimated award of $235,000. And finally, an agreement with Yardi Systems Incorporated. This is an annual software license to support the rent relief portal and corresponding call center for support. Award total of $2,500,000 estimated.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the members? Hearing none. Mr. Secretary. So, Mr. Secretary, can you just read for me the cover letter on the correspondence you just read one more time?
Yes, sir. The last one.
Yeah, I mean, not all the items, just the cover letter. Why are you reading those items?
Oh, the reason that I'm reading these items is because they were procured by a process other than formal competitive bid. And so when that is done and the contract is over $25,000, it is required that a copy of the contract be given to the council and the nature and parties to that agreement be announced by the secretary at the next session.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Comments? Hearing none. Mr. Secretary, next item.
Yes, the next item, Mr. Chairman, is the reappointment, the confirmation vote for the reappointment by Councilman Patoka of Miss Deborah C. Dopkin, Esquire, to the Baltimore County Board of Appeals.
Okay, Councilman Patoka.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am delighted and honored to bring Deborah Dopkin forward as a nominee for the Board of Appeals. Ms. Dopkin is an outstanding professional. She's an outstanding attorney. She's a fine human being. She's compassionate. She has vision. She has all the qualities you would need on someone that would be an outstanding member of the Board of Appeals as she has been over the years. The best way to determine the future is to look at someone's track record, and she's got an excellent track record in the field of law and in the business of hearing appeals. And so I was very, very lucky that my predecessor, Councilwoman Almond, appointed Ms. Dopkin initially, and I was happy that she invited me to meet her, and she gave me a tour of the Board of Appeals and how they operate. And I knew, actually, she had me when she said, at the door, welcome to the Board of Appeals. You had me then, Ms. Dobkin. And so I'm delighted that you are still interested in being a member of the Board of Appeals and serving the county so well in the future as you have done so over the past few years. So thank you, Ms. Dobkin, and I would urge my colleagues to view Ms. Dobkin favorably.
Thank you, Councilman Patoka. I share your assessment of Ms. Dobkin. She's been doing an absolutely wonderful job, and I'd like to give her an opportunity to say a few words.
Very few words. Thank you, Councilman Patoka, Chairman Jones. I appreciate the support the council has given me and my colleagues on the board and to our staff as well, and hope we can maintain our service to the county and our good work together with this council. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Dobkin. Any questions or comments from the members? Is there a motion to approve the appointment?
Motion?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the appointment.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Guys have it. The appointment is confirmed. Congratulations, Ms. Dobkin. Thank you for doing a wonderful job. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is the council's consideration of the nomination for reappointment by Councilman Catch of Mr. Joseph L. Evans, Esquire, to the Baltimore County Board of Appeals.
Councilman Catch?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. It's indeed my honor and pleasure to reappoint Joe Evans to the Board of Appeals. He has been both a federal prosecutor and public defender, so I think he's unique in that the fact that he's been on both sides. So he's a very hardworking, very bright, and he really researches his decisions with to justify his positions. And is Mr. Evans here?
It's Mrs. Dobkin. Mr. Evans could not be here. He asked me to apologize to the council for his absence and to thank you for what I hope will be your favorable consideration. Mr. Evans brings a unique perspective to the board as a community activist and a very thoughtful one.
Thank you. I couldn't agree more. And prior to appointing him to the Board of Appeals, he did offer me a lot of help, and he was very good during the 2016 CZMP. So, he got into this job with some experience right away. So I would ask that the council support his reappointment.
Thank you, Councilman Catch. Any questions or comments from the members? I look forward to voting in affirmative for Mr. Joseph Evans. I'm sure he's doing an absolutely wonderful job. Is there a motion to approve the appointment?
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the appointment.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Catch,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Appointment is confirmed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
The next item, Mr. Chairman, is the council's consideration for confirmation, the nomination for reappointment by Councilman Marks of Mr. Andrew M. Belt, Esquire, to the Baltimore County Board of Appeals.
Councilman Marks?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This position has always been very important to me. On a personal level, my father served in this position for nearly a decade. But professionally, this is one of the most important appointments that we make on the council. The Board of Appeals is the appellate level for many zoning, development, and personnel cases. And it's my pleasure to once again recommend the reappointment of Andrew Belt. Mr. Belt is the senior member of the Board of Appeals. He was appointed actually by my predecessor, Councilman Gardina. He has done an excellent job, I think, of balancing both business and community interests as a member of this important body. He's in private practice in Towson. He's also been very active in the community. So it's my pleasure to nominate that he serves an additional term on this body.
Thank you, Councilman Marks. And we have the pleasure of having Mr. Belt here this evening. Mr. Belt?
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to thank Chairman Jones and the council for your consideration, and especially thank Councilman Marks for his continued faith in me and performing the duties of the Board of Appeals. I'm entering my 15th year, and I enjoy the work and I enjoy serving Baltimore County in this capacity, and it is an honor, and thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bell. And we certainly appreciate your service. This is a very important job, and our government works a lot better at giving people an opportunity to bring issues to you for adjudication? Is that right?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
So we appreciate it very much. Is there a motion to approve the appointment?
I'll move it.
I will move it.
Second.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the appointment.
Mr. Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Marks,
Aye.
Mr. Patoka,
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins,
Aye.
Mr. Crandall,
Aye.
Mr. Quirk,
Aye.
Mr. Catch.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The appointment is confirmed or reconfirmed. Congratulations, Mr. Belt.
Thank you.
Sure.
Congratulations.
Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Mr. Chairman, the next item is Resolution 15-22. This is a resolution to rank or seeking approval for the ranking of the 5 rural legacy area plan applications. This resolution is for introduction only this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, is there any further business to come before the council?
There is no further business, Mr. Chair.
Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll move it.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned. As is customary, anyone who has registered to speak online prior to the meeting is allowed 3 minutes to speak. And it is my understanding we have 5 speakers here this evening. And I'm going to ask Ms. Belcastro, would you like to call our first speaker?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our first speaker is Laurie Taylor Mitchell. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, members of the County Council. I'm Dr. Laurie Taylor Mitchell, and I'm president of the Student Support Network, a nonprofit organization assisting students living in poverty in Baltimore County Public Schools. I'm here tonight to request your support for full funding for the Summer SNAP for Children program in the county budget. This critical program helps our most vulnerable children by providing $30 per child per month in the summer months and $10 in assistance during the winter break, the times when hunger and food insecurity are at their worst. The cost per child is just $100 a year, which is added to their family's pre-existing SNAP account, formerly known as food stamps. There are nearly 62,000 children living in extreme poverty in Baltimore County that rely on SNAP to put food on the table. What do I mean by the term extreme poverty? It means that a family of 4 must have less than $34,450 in income to qualify for SNAP. As anyone living in our county knows, the actual cost of living for a family of 4 here is much higher. The United Way of Central Maryland has calculated a survival budget, the income a family needs to to meet basic needs such as food, shelter, and medical care. For a family of four, the minimum income needed to survive in our county is $87,000. But again, to qualify for SNAP, this family's income must be below $35,000 a year, well below half the amount they need. Last year, only 450 children in Baltimore County, less than 1% of those eligible, received these critical summer SNAP for children benefits. Surely we can do better. What would it cost the county to provide $1 a day for food for these children during the summer months and $10 for a week in the winter for food? The total cost to fully fund the program, just $100 per child per year, is about $5 million. Surely in this year of an historic budget surplus of hundreds of millions of dollars, we can afford to fund this program and assist these children depending on SNAP and living in extreme poverty. Finally, summer SNAP for children would also benefit the local economy as these funds are used immediately at local grocery stores. A study by Towson University economists found that increasing funding for this supplement will greatly benefit the economy. It would reduce food insecurity, create additional jobs, and increase tax revenues. I urge you to advocate for full funding for the Summer SNAP for Children program, which would reduce poverty and food insecurity for nearly 62,000 of our most vulnerable children. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Lori Taylor Mitchell. We certainly appreciate your advocacy fighting student hunger. Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our next speaker is Peter Richkes. Ms. Richkes?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Belcastro. Good evening, Chairman Jones and members of the council. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you this evening. I know you will give careful consideration to Bill 2422, introduced this evening, to establish a police accountability board as the bill goes through the legislative process. Last year's passage of the Police Accountability Act of 2021 repealed absolute immunity for police misconduct and established new requirements for police accountability and discipline, including the requirement that each Maryland jurisdiction shall have a police accountability board. No doubt there will be amendments. The county will receive citizen input from two public meetings later this week, an in-person meeting Wednesday evening in Randallstown and a virtual meeting on Thursday. Residents have also been encouraged to provide written input by email to pab@baltimorecountymarylandmd.gov. Other amendments will be required when this year's General Assembly finalizes its work over the next week and a half on revisions and clarifications of last year's law with the passage of this year's Senate Bill 389. In the end, public involvement crafting the final version of this bill and the new citizen member board will make Baltimore County a leader in police accountability. The council's support of the process and the end product will be very important. I would also like to thank you for approving the contract for support services with the University of Baltimore Schaefer Center. Everything about the Office of the Inspector General should be without even an appearance of conflict of interest. The county is already getting the services of 7 highly qualified blue ribbon commissioners for free, led by retired Maryland Court of Appeals and former Baltimore County Circuit Court Judge Joseph Murphy Jr. I'm not unbiased, having a long relationship with my alma mater. But as you've heard from others, the Schaefer Center has an outstanding track record of providing expert, nonpartisan services to public and nonprofit institutions to enhance their efficiency and effectiveness. I'm confident they will do an excellent job for the Ethics and Accountability Commission. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comment, Ms. Richkes, and we certainly appreciate your advocacy on many issues. Belcastro, next speaker, please.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our next speaker is Jesse Yeager. I believe that's how you pronounce the last name.
Yes, that's right.
Good evening. I'm Jessie Yeager, and I am speaking here tonight to request your support of full funding for the Summer SNAP for Children program. With an allocation of about $5 million, we can assist nearly 62,000 children and families living in extreme poverty in Baltimore County. Maryland's Summer SNAP for Children program helps families access food during school breaks by providing a supplement that is automatically added to existing SNAP accounts. Towson University economists found that increasing funds for this program will greatly benefit the economy by creating additional jobs and increasing tax revenues, all while reducing food insecurity for children in low-income families. The Maryland Youth Risk Behavior Survey is an assessment of the health and well-being of our middle and high school students that measures drug use, diet, sexual activity, and now food insecurity. Students are asked whether their families were worried that their food would run out, or if the food their family bought didn't last and they didn't have money to buy more. The survey found that in Baltimore County, 30% of all high school students and 28% of all middle school students experience food insecurity. Food insecurity, the lack of reliable access to nutritious food, is a major equity concern with students of color at a significantly higher risk. In Baltimore County, 40% of Black students and 36% of Hispanic middle school students experience food insecurity as compared to 17% of white middle school students. Food insecurity puts our children at risk for physical and mental health problems. For example, the survey finds that students experiencing food insecurity are at higher risk for drug use, for making a suicide plan, for fighting at school, and even for carrying a weapon to school. High school students experiencing food insecurity were more likely to be obese, to use drugs or tobacco, and to feel sad or hopeless. Over half of middle school students in Baltimore County experiencing food insecurity had seriously considered suicide. While these survey results are disturbing, it remains our shared goal that all children deserve a life free from food insecurity and extreme poverty. We have the data. What we need to do now is to assist these children. Please advocate for full funding for the Summer SNAP for Children program. Governor Hogan recently announced an increase in funding for Summer SNAP for Children, which will allow more than 50,000 children in our state to benefit. While this increased funding is welcome, county governments must match the state dollars. With a total cost to fully fund the program of just $100 per child per year, please advocate for full funding of the program so that all eligible children in Baltimore County can benefit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Yeager, for your advocacy and your comments this evening. Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our next speaker is Christina Pumphrey. Ms. Pumphrey?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good evening. My name is Christina Pumphrey. I am a Central Area Vice President for Baltimore County PTA Council, as well as a volunteer with the Student Support Network, a nonprofit organization assisting students living in poverty in Baltimore County Public Schools. Student Support Network provides food, clothing, and other necessities so that every student is equipped with the materials, nutrition, and peace of mind they need to learn and be well. I am the lead volunteer for Student Support Network at Pine Grove Middle School, and over the past 15 years, the percentage of students living in low-income families has more than doubled in my school, from 19% qualifying for free and reduced price meals to 47% in 2021. We see the impact of this poverty every day. We see students who hoard food in their lockers for evenings and weekends. We see students who need a haircut and are bullied in school for their appearance. We see students wearing shoes that are too small and students without a winter coat. Families living at these extremely low income levels must make terrible choices that most of us cannot even imagine. Diapers or food, rent or utility payments, a pair of shoes or school supplies. Thanks to the assistance provided by nonprofits like Student Support Network, families face fewer of these difficult choices. Fortunately, there is a novel program in Maryland that provides direct support to those most vulnerable children, and I'm here tonight to ask for your support in fully funding the Summer SNAP for Children program. Summer SNAP for Children provides $100 a year of food assistance when they need it most in summer and during winter break. Nearly 60,000, over 60,000 children in extreme poverty qualify for this summer SNAP program for children in Baltimore County. Nearly 300 of these children are students in my school, Pine Grove Middle. Please help our children living in extreme poverty, through full funding of summer SNAP for children in Baltimore County. This positive local economic and social effects will extend far beyond the food assistance it would provide. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you for your comments and your advocacy, Ms. Pumphrey. And I'll just take a point of privilege to thank the Student Support Network for putting on a very nice community fair at Orange Mills High School this weekend. I was fortunate enough to go there and see what was going on, and had a chance to see my good friend, former Councilwoman Vicky Almond was there, and got a chance to see a lot of people in need come and take advantage of the services that were being provided by other nonprofits throughout our community.
Chairman?
So thank you for your comments. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I want to echo what you said about the Student Support Network. Thank you to Ms. Mitchell, Laurie Taylor Mitchell, and everyone who testified. Ms. Pumphrey, I in particular, I want to thank you. Your work at Pine Grove Middle School, which serves the Kearney and Perry Hall areas, has been exemplary, and I want to thank you for testifying tonight.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Belcastro, next speaker, please.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our final speaker this evening is Douglas Stanley. Mr. Stanley?
Hi, you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, I missed the first like 8 minutes of the meeting. Was Bill 14-2 passed?
We are postponing that, so we'll have another work session on it. We'll have another vote, or we will have a vote on it later, like the 18th, I believe, of April. But you're certainly welcome to give your testimony today on how you feel about the bill, and we'll take it into consideration.
As it currently sits right now, I feel that the bill has a lot of potential to be abused in the course of like civil asset forfeiture gets abused. Whereas you're relying on people to make statements, like police officers could say that, you know, issues happen around the business, particularly in businesses in lower income areas. And then the county could come and force the business to close, shutting off resources to the lower income people. So I'm not in favor of it. And since you postponed it, it kind of messed up what I wanted to say. So I'm just going to relinquish the rest of my speaking, and thank you guys. And I will be watching this bill. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Stanley, I thank you for your comment, but hey, listen, I think your comments are more important before we pass a vote.
Well, I would agree. I don't like the idea that there's not going to be any, conviction related. It seems like it's written as if any kind of situation happens in a small and or medium business, that the county could deem that as a public nuisance. Not anything that the business owner itself could have done, but possibly a patron or possibly just bystanders outside walking on the front of the property. I'm not sure how something like this could happen, and I'm sure it wouldn't apply to larger businesses who could fight the bill or fight the county. So I'm worried about the smaller and the medium businesses who could be adversely impacted by this bill and not actually have any due process.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Stanley. I believe Councilman Katz had some comments.
I was just going to ask Mr. Stanley if he had any amendments that he would suggest for this legislation. If so, I urge you to please relay them to the council, and we find that very helpful.
Absolutely. I will work on that, and I will get that to you. You said it's before the 18th?
Yes, is that correct, Mr. Secretary?
Yes, sir. The new legislative session date is April 18th, with a work session on April 12th. And if anyone wants to send an email, it's on our homepage, but it's simple. countycouncil@baltimorecountymd.gov.
Mr. Bostwick?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think Mr. Stanley, basically, what Mr. Bostwick is saying is that we're gonna have a work session or a bill hearing on what date? April the
On the
12th.
12th, he said.
12th, yeah, so you can, yeah, so that's an opportunity to call in and participate again with your concerns and suggestions. So
Yes, sir. I'll be putting it on my calendar.
good.
Thank you, Mr. Stanley. We certainly appreciate your comments and your
Thank you.
sharing them with us. We certainly take these things to heart, and we work a lot better when we hear from the citizens. So we really appreciate you taking the time to share your comments with us. Any questions or comments from the members before we sign off? Thank you very much, everyone. And everybody be well, be safe, and may God continue to bless each and every one. Thank you.
Night, everybody.